Hi, my name's Erin, and my topic from our business assignment was professional image in the business world. What is a professional image? Professional image is a clear defining element that shapes your reputation. These include, but are not limited to, your appearance, behavior, conduct, verbal and nonverbal communication in the workplace. Tips for creating a great professional image. Being mindful of first impressions. Consider behaviors and traits common among your profession. If you are in a relaxed, more business casual environment, such as the advertising world or a more creative department, consider that this is going to be more business casual and you are going to be expected of a little bit less than someone in a business professional world, such as lawyers or accountants or financial analysts. Grasp what others perceive about your position and how that might affect how they see you. Oftentimes, people in departments such as human resources are seen as uptight or unapproachable. Understand how this position, if you are in this position, affects how your coworkers may see you and how they may not be comfortable upon first meeting. Know the different tone of voice or attitude when it comes to your fellow employees or bosses. When speaking to employees, you never want to be able to talk, you never want to talk down to anyone, especially coworkers. It's going to create a negative image in their mind. And if you talk down to them, they may not want to approach you again. However, when you're talking to bosses, make sure that you keep a very professional while also relaxed tone, whereas you don't want to seem intimidated by them, but you also want to seem approachable and caring about what is going on. What does your clothing say about you? Every profession has different attire when it comes to clothing. In departments such as creative direction and advertising, your clothing is going to be a lot more business casual. Whereas if you're in a setting such as human resources or accounting, you're going to be a more business professional attire. Know the environment for your clothing. Wear the right attire for the environment you are in. Do wear appropriate business attire if your profession calls for it, but do not underdress. It's better to look more put together than not together enough. It's much more fitting to look like you are more put together as opposed to if you show up to a very important meeting and things such as jeans or dirty shoes or something that is not appropriate for the time and day of your business day. Know your style. Do not wear clothes that make you feel uncomfortable because sometimes it often shows in your mannerisms. If you wear clothes that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's often going to show in the way that you have your attitude or the way that you approach others during the business day. So wear clothes that make you comfortable throughout the day and that are going to make you happy and comfortable to be around others. Style your body. Bodies come in all shapes and sizes. Wear what you want, but avoid clothing that is unflattering, too tight, too small, or does not fit the environment you work in. Oftentimes, the style these days is to wear a very tight fitting shirt and looser pants. However, a crop top or a tight fitting shirt with a pair of mom jeans is not business professional, and it's going to hinder your professional image. Often opt for a more tight fit, form fitting, and professional clothing, even if it is different from what you'd want to prefer to wear. Use social media wisely. Whatever you post will not go away with the click of a button. If you follow coworkers or vice versa, keep in mind how they might view you in terms of social media. If you go out for drinks after a work day, avoid posting about excessive drinking or use of extracurricular substances. Make sure that if you wouldn't want your boss seeing it, that you don't post it on social media because you can never control what your higher ups or fellow employees might see and how it can affect the way that they see you. Avoid talking negatively about your space of work on social media. If you're having a bad day or you went into a meeting that didn't end up very well, avoid talking about it on social media. Don't bash the company you work for or where you're currently employed, because it could negatively affect the way that you work with others, and it could also affect the stability of your job. Networking. Networking is a huge part of being in any career. No matter what stage in your career, networking is a huge advantage to having connections in your field. Use this to your advantage when you attend functions, seminars, or workshops. Networking in any career is going to be a huge step, whether you're just starting out or you're midway through the career that you want before you eventually retire. But make sure that you have connections in that field, because if one day you're unhappy and you don't longer like the company you're working for, having connections is going to be an even bigger step in finding that next company that you want to work for. Overall professional image. Professional image can make or break the way you are looked at as a fellow employee, coworker, or potential hire up. As an employee, when people are often hiring internally these days, a potential hire up is going to look at you and think about your first impression and how you've carried yourself since being at that company. If you have a poor professional image, you're less likely to be promoted or called up or even looked at for a reference when it comes to looking at your career in the future. It starts with a first impression and can be changed in any interaction you may deem minor. If you have a small scuffle with another employee, do your best to resolve the conflict, because regardless of how it makes you feel on a daily basis, if you have a conflict with one employee, it could potentially spread to others. Keeping a professional mindset and attitude at all times is key to making sure that you are looked at the way you want people to view you. Conduct yourself in a business manner in the way that you want people to look at you throughout your career. If you act and behave as someone who is merely looking for a frat party on the weekends and come in not prepared to work on a Monday, it's going to affect the attitude at all times of the people that you are working with. But also, don't talk down to those that you work with. If you want to be treated and looked at as a professional person and you want to have a positive professional image in your career, talk to people the way that you want to be treated and don't talk down to anyone, because that professional image from a person who's merely a coworker, one day they could be your boss. So you always want your professional image to best reflect the way you want to conduct yourself throughout your entire career and not just the one you're currently in.